What is going on, chat, man? We are back, and today we are reacting to using numbers to find the greatest 75 players of all time, man. This was highly recommended, and highly anticipated. So with that being said, let's get straight into the video. But let's be honest. Who do you guys really have in the top 10? Before the video gets started, who do you guys have in your top 10 75 players of all time, man? Because I know Jordan's number one. But honestly, I don't know who can go number two. I'm gonna be completely honest. A lot of people say Kobe, and a lot of people from my generation say LeBron. But with that being said, let's get straight into the video and find out. But if you guys are new to my channel and you like classic / old NBA content, man, hit the subscribe button, man, and join the crew. But with that being said, let's get straight into the video. Yes, sir.
On the 50th anniversary of the NBA, the league put together a list of the 50 greatest players in NBA history. Dating all the way back to 1946, the list included the best players to ever play the game. From the most notable players like Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Wilt Chamberlain, to some old school players that a lot of modern fans have never even heard of, such as Dolph Schayes, Dave Bing, and Hal Greer. Fast forward.
I'm gonna be completely honest. Yes, I've never heard of any of those NBA players in my whole career of just knowing basketball. I've never heard of them. Let me know down below if they're really good players, chat.
25 years, and this season, for the first time since 1996, the NBA is releasing a new list. An updated list of the top 75 greatest players of all time. And sometime later this month, the official list will be released. But until then, many NBA fans have wondered how the league will go about this. Will the NBA keep the original 50 players and just add 25 new ones? In that case, it would be tough to narrow down 25 years of basketball to just 25 players. Not only that, but as much as we want to respect the past, I think we can all agree that a generational talent in the 50s isn't quite up to par with the generational talent from the 2000s. But
I'm gonna be honest. The 50s are not messing with any NBA era. I'm gonna be completely honest, chat. We have to sometimes be a little bit realistic. The 50s versus the 90s to the 2000s, even to now, bro, they're absolutely getting destroyed. Their basketball skills are not up to date, bro. Because a lot of stuff changed, bro. They probably dunk way differently, some rules were probably a little bit different,
This list is based off of the greatest players, not the best players. And there's a distinct difference there. A player can be exceptional, but due to many different variables like injuries and bad management, that player may never reach their full potential in terms of greatness. Tracy McGrady, Patrick Ewing, and Dominique Wilkins are all great examples of this.
Wait, Patrick Ewing didn't reach his full potential because he got injured? Chat, is that true? Can you guys let me know down below? I'm genuinely curious about that. Also, Tracy McGrady. Tracy McGrady got injured also? So I thought he was a good player his whole career. Chat, what?
With a list this expansive, ranging through 7 decades worth of NBA history, there is bound to be a lot of subjectivity. The official top 75 greatest players of all time list was voted on by a blue ribbon panel of media, current and former players, coaches, general managers, and team executives. But even with all that basketball knowledge and experience, there are bound to be entries that leave you baffled. Writers for USA Today Sports created their own list of the greatest 75 players ever.
I haven't seen this greatest 75 players of all time, so I'm kind of curious, bro.
Writer voted for Robert Horry to be a part of the ultra elite top 75. Another writer had Casey Jones above James Harden.
Bro, I'm gonna be completely honest. I will be completely honest, chat. Casey Jones I don't know who Casey Jones is, but I don't think he's better than James Harden. And I also, okay, there's a lot of Bob Pettit. I don't know if he's better than Dwayne Wade or James Harden. Is Evan Haynes better than Chris Paul? And I don't think I think Chris Paul is better than Yao Ming. There's a lot going on here, man. But you guys let me know.
Harden and Dwayne Wade. This writer doesn't even know how to spell Pau Gasol's name. And this writer put Kobe Bryant as the 15th greatest player of all time.
Okay, now I know this list is kind of wrong. Because I know Kobe's better than that. We know Kobe's at least better than 15. 15 is absolutely ridiculous. It's like you just threw him there just to throw him there. Come on, man.
15th. But if that isn't crazy enough, check out this writer's list. He's got Michael Jordan at 3, Magic Johnson at
he had LeBron at 1. Chat, he had LeBron at 1. Oh, yo, how do y'all feel about that? That's insane. And I'm on my Jordan journey, so that's not helping, bro. That's encouraging.
15, below Karl Malone, Isaiah Thomas, and Elgin Baylor, he's got Pete Maravich, a player that only played 10 seasons in the league, 7 spots above Stephen Curry. He also has Kevin Garnett at 55, right behind Ray Allen. This is far from a good list, but instead of sitting on the sidelines and judging, I made my own list. But this isn't just any old list I threw together based off of my own subjective point of view. The entirety of my top 75 greatest players of all time was constructed by using purely numbers and statistics. An extremely unconventional and probably psychotic way to go about this. But if you're familiar with this channel, you know this isn't anything new. Numbers don't lie. But they also
don't lie, so he might be spitting facts. Chat, he might be spitting facts.
Don't tell the full story. So this will be tough. To begin this process, I selected 110 players that I felt were eligible to even be considered for this list. Players from every era, every decade, every position and play style. 110 players doesn't sound like a lot, but think of any all-time elite talent, and chances are they were included in this process. Next, I chose 13 different metrics to rank each player off of. Now, this was the trickiest part of this entire experiment. I needed to avoid metrics that heavily favorite longevity because there are current NBA players who haven't been in the league long enough to even crack those leaderboards. For example, I chose points per game instead of total career points. But at the same time, we also want to acknowledge and reward when a player maintains excellence for an extended number of years. Some of these metrics may seem a bit random, but after spending far too many hours deliberating this, I'm pretty confident that these metrics give the best representation of every aspect that makes a player great. And lastly, not every category is weighted the same. Finals MVPs, regular season MVPs, and championships are weighted slightly heavier than the other categories, since
this is a fair exact. He's going straight for the categories. He's going straight for like, okay, so this can't be capped. This is gonna be a real list. No bias.
Those things are pretty important. I will assess every player in every category. The top 20 players in each category will earn points. The leader in each category will earn the most points, second place earning the second most points, and so on down to the 20th best player. Once each player has been assessed across all 13 categories, we will add up the total points, and the top 75 points earners will be our top 75 list. So, with that out of the way, let's get into this. The first category we looked at was championships won, and the obvious leader here is Bill Russell. Bill's right-hand man John Havlicek.
There's a lot of players that won only 2 NBA championships. Like, there's a lot of NBA players that won 2 or 1 NBA championships. And then you go to 3, and then it starts to get a little bit different. And then you go to 4, and it's like, okay, we're getting to like higher competition. 5, it's like, yo, we're going next to the GOATs. Who is this guy with 8 championships, though? This is absolutely crazy. What?
Racked up the second most points here, and 4 players each earned the third most points. The next category is Finals MVPs. Now, technically, Michael Jordan has the most Finals MVP in NBA history with 6. But the award didn't even exist when Bill Russell was in the league. In fact, Russell was so dominant in the finals, they literally named the award after him. And because of that, I gave Bill Russell the
Bill Russell was so dominant in the finals that they named it after him. Bro, I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't really know anything about Bill Russell. So when people talk about him in a big man conversation and all of that, I don't know anything about Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell. I know Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points. You guys told me that there's a box score and there's witnesses. Okay. So that makes me believe the 100 points is more realistic, but there's no footage. But, you know, with that being said, it's like I don't really know too much about those guys, so I won't say too much about them.
Top spot. There's about, 100% chance that if the award existed when Bill was playing, he would have more than 6 anyways. So second is Michael Jordan and third is LeBron. Fun fact, only 5 players in NBA history have won more Finals MVPs than Willis Reed. Next is regular season MVPs, and leading the way is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, followed by Michael Jordan and Bill Russell. Only 8
It's changed now. Like Nikola Jokic has way more MVPs now. That's insane, though.
players in league history have earned more than 2 regular season MVPs, one of them being the criminally underrated Moses Malone. Next, we have every fan's favorite stats, points per game. And with the top spot is Michael Jordan, just narrowly edging out Wilt Chamberlain, followed by Elgin Baylor. What's crazy here is that Wilt, Elgin, and Jerry all played on the same Lakers roster for 4 seasons. And in one of those seasons, neither Wilt, Jerry, or Elgin led the team in scoring. Shout out 1972 Gail Goodrich. Following points per game is assists per game. And at first thought, I assumed John Stockton held this title, but it's actually Magic Johnson with a sizable.
Bro, this guy Magic Johnson is actually too good at passing the ball. Oh my gosh. Russell Westbrook is extremely high. I didn't actually think he was that much, like, ranked that high in passing. Okay. You got LeBron down there. You got Steph Curry at the bottom. Okay, it's not a bad list.
Lead, followed by Stockton and Oscar Robertson. On the other end of the spectrum, we have rebounds per game, a category that is dominated by pre-modern big men.
Is that 22 rebounds per game? What am I looking at? These guys are insane.
With Wilt Chamberlain averaging a mind-boggling 22.89 rebounds per game, followed closely by Bill Russell and Bob Pettit. Dwight Howard and Joel Embiid are the only active players to crack this leaderboard. Next, we're handing out points to players who dominated the defensive end with all defensive team selections.
Kobe's that high up on the defensive end, though? Oh my gosh. He was that good of a defender, chat? Like, I didn't think Kobe played defense that good, bro.
Tim Duncan is the clear leader here, with a selection total that will more than likely never be topped. 15 selections to the NBA All-Defensive Team. Just think about that. Most players don't even play 15 seasons in the NBA. Second is Kobe Bryant and Kevin Garnett, each with 12 selections apiece. Next, we're looking at all NBA team selections. This category, among the last one we just looked at, rewards sustained excellence, so there are players who aren't on this leaderboard but will be in years to come. Players like Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Giannis, as well as a few others. But for now, we must assess these players based off of their body of work, and as it stands, the leaders here are LeBron, Kareem, and Kobe. Now, there is a current player that I could see passing LeBron's current record of all NBA selections. Any guesses to who that player might be? Leave your answer.
I think it will be Nikola Jokic. I'll be completely honest. Because Nikola Jokic or Giannis Antetokounmpo, those guys are the biggest, craziest NBA players that I've seen in a while, man.
Answers in the comments below. Next up is one of the better statistics for measuring a player's value on the court, or rather their impact on winning, and that's win shares per 48. And at the top is
Wow, this is insane. Chris Paul is higher than LeBron. Chat, that's insane. Win shares mean who helps their team win, right? Jordan's on top then.
surprisingly Michael Jordan. But trailing him by just a sliver is David Robinson. That's about as close as it gets. If Robinson played a couple games just slightly better throughout the entirety of his career, he would lead all NBA players in this category. And right after Robinson is Wilt Chamberlain. So remember when I said that this list was going to be made up entirely of numbers and statistics? Well, I lied. This category is one that I made up, but
shot making. Jordan is not in the top 10 for shot making? Kobe's higher than Jordan though.
But hear me out. This metric is necessary. There are zero statistics that show how great a player is at making shots. And I'm not just talking about how good a player is at shooting, I'm talking about players who can create and make their own shots. Players that can put the ball in the basket on demand from just about anywhere.
Yep.
There's some advanced stats that do a decent job at quantifying this aspect of the game, but since those metrics only date back to about a decade ago, I came up with this. Now take a good look at this leaderboard, because although it is subjective, I think it's pretty solid. With Kobe Bryant, in my opinion, being the greatest shot maker in NBA history, followed by Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, Tracy McGrady, and James Harden. Our next category
Kobe been surprising me throughout this video, chat. I'm gonna be honest.
is the infamous PER stat. I know it's become a bit of a punching bag among NBA fans over the last few years, but it's still a solid all-around stat, and it's more data to be considered for this process. And topping the list is Michael Jordan, followed by LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Okay, so here is an interesting category. Peak, as in a player's peak years. In this case, their best 5-year stretch in regards to win shares. And here we can see that Wilt Chamberlain had the greatest peak in NBA history, putting up numbers that don't even register in today's
peak. Like, I don't understand though. Why was he so good at scoring the ball, but he could not win championships though? Like, he was going crazy, scoring all these points, but when it came to winning championships, the Boston Celtics where Bill Russell used to win all the time, right, chat? Am I mistaken or not? Let me know down below. But how many rings does he have? But also, why couldn't he get the job done if he's scoring all those points? I don't understand.
NBA context. At the second spot is Kareem, who had an incredible individual run in Milwaukee that really isn't talked about enough. And in the third spot is Michael Jordan, who at his peak looked like Jesus in a basketball jersey. And last, we have the impact and influence category. This category was narrowed down to 10 players who have influenced the game the most. Players that changed the—
Bro, LeBron is not even top 3. Like, that's insane, chat. Like, I'm starting to realize something right now. Curry influenced a lot of people, more than LeBron. And then Kobe did the same. I'm surprised that Curry didn't do more than Kobe, though. I feel like Curry's number 2, if I'm being honest. Because Kobe, yes, Kobe inspired a lot of people. You know, I don't really know how much people he inspired, but I know he inspired a lot of people. And I feel like AI is higher than Bill Russell or even LeBron James, if I'm being honest. Because Allen Iverson, I don't even know too much about his basketball. Like, I need to start reacting to him to see his highlights. But I know that this guy has a big impact because people say that, yo, I started wearing braids because of Allen Iverson. Like, I seen those type of clips. But I'm going to start getting into Allen Iverson soon.
Way we see the game, how we watch basketball, how we play basketball, and how we fell in love with the game in the first place. And leading here is Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Stephen Curry. And that covers it, all 110 players through each of our 13 categories. So, who came out on top? Which players cracked the top 20? And who rounds out the top 75 NBA players of all time? I mean, who are we kidding?
Of course, Jordan. Of course. For
Chicago. Oh, what a move by Jordan. Whose game is it? It's Michael Jordan's game. He's just simply amazing.
With the top spot, just like—
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You're telling me that Jordan is just way better than all of these guys, and Kobe's not even top 5? Oh my gosh. How do you guys feel about this list? Luka Doncic is already 42 of all time, with no championship, with nothing, no MVPs. And this is a couple years back. He got way better now, but it's like, wow. You guys have James Harden at 24 of all time? Oh my gosh. Chat, let me know down below what y'all think.
Every other chart we've ever covered is Michael Jordan, with a total score of 167. Way ahead of everyone else. Michael ended up leading in 4 categories and was top 5 in 8 different categories. Michael's a rare case of a jack of all trades and a master of many. But we all knew he was going to be number 1 all time, so let's take a look at where some other players landed. Our top 10 is made up of Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, Wilt, Russell, Kobe, Magic, Duncan, Durant, and Shaq. Now, is that a perfect top 10? Well, I don't think a perfect top 10 exists, but considering we literally use data and numbers to make this list, I'd say that's a really accurate top 10. And I just want to say that I'm glad to see Kevin Durant in the top 10 all time. Some fans will agree with this.
You
Many
guys have Kevin Durant top 10 all time, even over Larry Bird, chat. Oh my gosh.
won't. But all things considered, Durant has put together a career that ranks up with the greatest of all time. If I had to put KD on an all-time list based off of what I personally think of him and his accomplishments, this is about where I'd put him as well. Larry Bird surprisingly missed the top 10 cuts and landed at 11, followed by Oscar Robertson, Hakeem, Pettit, and David Robinson. Steph Curry ended up at 16, followed closely by Chris Paul at 17, and Karl Malone, Dirk Nowitzki, and Willis Reed rounded out the top 20. Now, I'm not going to go into detail on each and every player, but let's talk about some notable rankings. Kawhi Leonard finished at 22 with James Harden just behind him at 24. Giannis ranks 30th all-time, which would make him, at this moment,
I feel like Giannis is better than James Harden though, chat. Like, I feel like Giannis is better than James Harden and maybe a Kawhi Leonard. I don't know. Let me know down below what y'all think about that.
the 6th greatest power forward of all time. I think that's probably too low for him. I know he's still young, but he's already accomplished a lot more than some other players above him did in their entire career. Westbrook, Lillard, and Kyrie all finished in the late to mid 40s. Carmelo and McGrady finished at 55th and 57th respectively, and somehow Dwayne Wade slipped down to 47. But you want to hear something insane? 5 players on this year's Lakers roster made this list. 5. And Dwight Howard, who would have been the 6th player to make this list, just
You
never.
guys have Rajon Rondo over Nikola Jokic? No, I don't. I have Nikola Jokic over a lot of players, chat. I feel like he's gotten way better since this time. So, you know, it's not fair to judge. But, hey.
Really missed it. Some more interesting notes about this list: the 1984 and 1996 draft classes, both known as 2 of the best draft classes of all time, both have 4 players who made this list. But this particular stretch right here, from 1996 to 1998, produced 9 players that made this list, which is what I would consider to be the best stretch of NBA drafts in league history. Of the original 50 players from the NBA's official list in 1996, 36 of them made the cut this time around. And of the 75 players on this list, 18 of them are currently in the NBA. At just 22 years old, Luka Doncic is the youngest player on this list. And
Luka Doncic is like, bro, he needs to win a championship. That's the thing. I feel like once he got traded from Dallas, you know, it kind of ruined his momentum and everything. But he's on the Los Angeles Lakers now. So if he wins a championship for you guys, how would you Lakers fans feel? Let me know down below.
Luka's possible appearance on the NBA's official list has been the topic of a lot of debate lately. Should a player that has only played 3 seasons in the NBA make such a prestigious list? Well, it all depends on how you look at it. Is Luka Doncic a top 75 player of all time in regards to what he has accomplished in the league? No. Is he a top 75 player of all time in regards to skill and ability? Without a doubt. I would assume that when the NBA makes their list, they will be considering both of these factors. But in the case of our list, the data says he lands at the 42nd spot. Which is crazy, because Luka doesn't even qualify for half of these categories yet, and he still rose this high on this list. But I want to make something clear. This list is far from perfect. Paul Pierce is too low, Dwayne Wade is too low, he should be somewhere around 30, Bob Pettit's too high, Clyde Drexler and Patrick Ewing didn't even make the cut, which is an...
Patrick Ewing and Clyde Drexler? What do you guys think about that? Do you guys think that they're outdated players and a lot of players are better than them? Let me know down below.
Absolute tragedy, and I think the biggest flaw in using this particular method of sorting out the top 75 players of all time is that numbers do a terrible job of recognizing the small nuances of a player's game. There's no real way to explain Stephen Curry's on-court gravity using just numbers. A basic stat like points per game does not begin to describe Tracy McGrady's scoring prowess, and no stat truly captures just how dominant Patrick Ewing was in the low post. Numbers can only take us so far. But you want to know the best part about this list? 95% of our entire process for deciding who lands where was based off of statistics, raw data, numbers on a computer screen. And we still came up with a better list than a lot of analysts and so-called...
Yup, he still did. Because these analysts, I don't know if they watch basketball. I feel like they just do it to get more attention on themselves.
experts. You can either use what they like to call the eye test to assess players, or you can use stats. I would like to think that most fans do a little bit of both. But to know that some individuals have an eye test that can lead them so far astray is baffling to me. Now, I know this list has its flaws, but instead of looking at who is and who isn't on it, look at where players landed on this list and who landed near them. Derrick Rose is right between Bob McAdoo and Nikola Jokic. And when you think about what these players have accomplished, this actually makes sense. Same thing with Willis Reed, Karl Malone, and Dirk Nowitzki. Charles Barkley and Kevin Garnett landed in back-to-back spots as well, which would make sense. But let's be honest, a list this extensive gets pretty shaky after about 40. Pretty much any ranking after that is completely up to interpretation. I don't care how much basketball you watch, the guy you pick at, let's say, the 50th spot is more than likely going to be a different player than who everyone else picks for their 50th spot. And that's probably...
Okay, that kind of makes sense. Yep, because Allen Iverson at 50 is kind of crazy to me.
The best part about this entire process, we've all watched a lot of NBA action. We all have our own opinions, we can all appreciate different aspects of the game. No matter how you split it, no one's necessarily wrong. Well, unless you have someone other than Michael Jordan at number 1. Then you're definitely wrong. And you can go ahead and throw that list in the trash. Let me know what you think.
I used to be wrong not having Jordan at 1, bro.
Give me your list of top 75 all-time players. Make some predictions as to how you think the NBA's list will look. Hope you all enjoyed. And as always, until next time.
Chat, we gotta talk about this one for sure. Let me know, actually, down below what you guys think about this video. Because, hey, if this was a real 75 without the stats, a lot of these would be kind of wrong. And I wouldn't agree with this list too. But let me know down below if you would agree with this list or disagree with it too. But, with that being said, chat, Allen Iverson that low was kind of crazy. Like, I feel like he's kind of has more type of aura to be more in like the top 20. Like, I'll be completely honest. And Dwayne Wade's ranking, I don't know, he can stay there. But, James Harden better than Giannis? Nah, I can't agree with that one. But, with that being said, this is the end of the video, chat. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, man. And, I'll catch y'all next time. And recommend some more stuff to react to. But, I'll see y'all. Yes, sir.